Welcome to the 2016 edition of the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest Stories here on the People Chronicles. My name is Jo Painter, and I'm very, very happy to be able to do this again. It is the 26th year of Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, and the presenting organization is, of course, the Berks Arts Council. The executive director, Karen Haver, is with us. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Jo. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to be part of your storytelling again.
I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm noticing, I gotta tell you, you're bright and exuberant, and I see you during Jazz Fest. You're omnipresent. You're at so many different venues. It's a big task.
It is, and it's running around, and I think, you know, it's tag teaming. John and I tag team which venues we're at. We don't really make any conscious decisions, but we sometimes run into each other, and we sometimes don't. And just really trying to make sure that all of our artists are comfortable, all of our guests are comfortable, the patrons. I mean, it's the friendliest festival in the world, I'm convinced. And I mean, and if that's, you know, it's a great story, or a great tribute to our volunteers, because they're so friendly to everybody that comes through. So it's like, so we run around and it's just a great party to see everybody, and you know, the artists that come back year after year are all great friends. And so there's just all these familiar faces, the audiences. We have a lot of repeat audience members, and we have a lot of new members every year too, but it's like a big family reunion.
Karen, it's interesting that the first thing you brought up is the effort to make the artists comfortable and feel at home, because that's the first thing the artists will talk about when they talk about the Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. As the presenting organization, what does this particular festival, because the Berks Arts Council does so many things,
right? So
what does this festival mean to the Arts Council?
Well, the festival started in 1991, and it's our flagship event, and it's the largest event. It is our largest. It brings in the most amount of funds. It takes out the most amount of funds of our organization as well, but it means spreading the art of jazz, which is a great American art form, throughout Berks County. We've got 10 days. It's a huge economic impact on the community, between $5 and $6 million. And it's bringing people in for music. We have a visual art show integrated into it. We have educational aspects integrated into it. And with the artists, we have new artists every year, and we have returning artists that are just, you know, friends of the fest that are here and do different projects and come back. So those are the familiar faces that we have. And what it means with them is they are family. I mean, it's just bringing it in when they're backstage, you know, that Peter White likes lentil soup, or Rick Braun likes...
And you know this. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, Rick likes shoe fly pie, and Brian Culbertson eats everything organic. So it's just all of those things that making sure, and we have great volunteers who take care of them, and so we can go back and say, hey, this is who we have taking care of you. We care about you. Come back again. And if they're relaxed and having fun and feel appreciated, then they're going to put on a better show. So
it's not just that you know that. The Arts Council and the volunteers and the staff go the extra step to make sure the lentil soup is there and the organic food is there, or the green M&Ms, or whatever it might be. So it's beyond knowing it, it's acting on it. So for the Arts Council, you mentioned that over the years you've integrated things from the art of jazz and some education programs. As the festival has grown, and I want to say it keeps growing, I don't know how it can get bigger. How important is it that these kind of extenuating programs are attached to Jazz Fest, and what does that do for the Arts Council? What kind of opportunities does that present?
I think when we are an arts council, we're not just a jazz council or a
Right,
music
right,
festival.
right, right.
So we have an education, our education is integral to our mission. Our mission includes the celebration and promotion of the arts and through education, presentation, and collaboration. So we try and have that, we collaborate with the local schools, and then we educate with the kids. We have that program, so we're helping to we're helping the next generation of jazz musicians. And it's interesting to see some of the kids that have gone through the All-Star Jazz program and where they go, and they come back and they play, and they play. Nathan Ballot has played at our opening night several times.
And tell me, who is Nathan Ballot?
He's just a young saxophone, I shouldn't say just yet, he's a great young saxophone player, and he comes and he plays our opening night. He'll play some of our other things, and he's a working musician. He's got a band.
Is he from Berks County?
He's from Berks County. He's got so he's in our education program. He was in our education program, and he's a fairly recent alumni, 5-6 years ago. So it's just interesting to see the growth of musicians that we've seen through the program and what they're doing now. If you go back to the All-Star
Eric
Jazz
Koala.
Jam, exactly.
Perfect
That's Eric
example,
Koala.
isn't
That's who
he?
he was going to be. So that was going to be my next one. So you have somebody who did a lot of the educational programs in school and is now a working professional musician. He's well known in the community. He's well known outside of the area, and and he's having a blast with what he's doing. So he played last night, and I saw him, and there is not a moment on stage that he's not enjoying what he's doing.
It is so true. It is so true.
And that's the great thing, is that to show that you can make a living loving what you do. So we're growing the next musicians, the next fans. So even if they're not somebody who chooses to go into music professionally, they have an appreciation and an openness for it.
And artists as well. It sounds
so
like
the
it's
visual arts, I think, is a great, opening that up to the art of jazz, the visual arts, is really a nice way to integrate our whole community. It's a beautiful show, and I love the creativity. The theme is Celebrate Jazz, so it's not, it can be, some people take it literally, some people go quite abstract. So it's such an open idea. What does it mean to you? And I love seeing the different
let me
views.
back up.
Okay.
The theme is the art of jazz, so that's what's put out there, and you can create any piece of art based on that statement.
Right. The show is called, it's actually the Frank Scott Memorial Art Show, The Art of Jazz. The theme for the jurying is Celebrate Jazz.
So that you could go any number of ways,
You can.
depending on your medium that you're working with.
Exactly. And we've had 2D winners, paintings, oil, that are very literal, and musician. You see the musicians, and we've had some crazy 3D winners that are sculptures. That there was one last year that was a harp that won 2 awards. It actually had our first ever Musician's Choice Award, and that was Bertie Zoltan won that, and it was this sculpture of a harp. Very imaginative. The first place winner was Charlie Farrell with a very small piece that was an assemblage, and so it had the pieces and the color, and it was very subtle, and it had its own story. So
when will this show be? During the entire festival in April?
Because of our gallery schedule, it is actually March 4th through 27th.
So leading up
to the prelude. Now, it is our plan, this is brand new, it's our plan to bring certain artworks down to the DoubleTree to be integrated into the Jazz Fest. We've discussed it with the hotel management. They were very enthusiastic, but since the hotel has only been open for a week, we haven't figured out all of the logistics yet.
Maybe we can put some of those art pieces right here at the People
Absolutely.
Chronicle, so people coming in and out can enjoy that as well.
Absolutely, I'm sure we can. We just get permission from the artists and keep the celebration going.
So Jazz Fest, or Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, in its 26th year, is providing quite a few opportunities for multiple organizations in the community to step fully into the music, into the art, and it's allowing the Arts Council to really step into that position of education and opportunity, where in many cases it's not always in the schools because of budget restraints.
It is, and it also takes what they're doing in the schools and just gives it
A pop.
a pop.
Yeah, yeah.
An emphasis, a life, something beyond the walls. It gives a chance. Students work with professional musicians. Our Vocal Get Jazzed, which is a clinic, the All-Star Vocal Chorus, Jazz Chorus. There's a jazz chorus. There's a Vocal Get Jazzed also, but it's being conducted by Bob Duro. Bob Duro is a legend. He's 92 years old.
Wow.
And still amazing. And to listen to his stories of working with the greats and working with like Miles Davis and working on his own work and how that got, and this is such a great generation experience for the students. And so he'll be conducting our high school all-star vocal jazz choir, the all-star jazz band, the non-vocal, the instruments. It's going to be conducted by Sherry Miracle. So you have this great woman of jazz, and I think that's a really neat thing because it's so hard to. So for so many years, people think, oh, jazz is a man's world, and you look at these great men stars, and there's so many women that have been playing for years and are getting their due and getting the Grammys and really getting some attention now. And so bringing that in and having Sherry conduct the jazz band, I think that's great. But both Sherry and Bob will participate in our Get Jazzed educational clinics too at different times.
So Karen, what I'm hearing repeatedly is opportunity. And there's tons of opportunity that is afforded to many people and organizations in this area. And thanks to the Berks Arts Council for being the presenting organization for Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. And there's lots more stories to come, so stay tuned.